Delegates at the ANC policy conference say the country is in a continuous state of transition, and the KwaDukuza Taxi Association on the North Coast says there'll be no taxi operations tomorrow. I'm Esther Kalu. Delegates at the ANC policy conference in Midrand have agreed that the country is in a continuous state of transition from apartheid to a national democratic society. ANC head of policy Jeff Hadebe has told a media briefing that the conference has agreed that the country is entering a second phase of the same transition as opposed to a new transition altogether. Hadebe was reporting back at the conclusion of discussions on the party's strategy and tactics document. NEC member Tony Yengeni says the phrase second transition should not be linked to that of a second term for Zuma.
This document has absolutely nothing to do with the second term of the president. This is a policy document. It is seeking to analyze the balance of forces in the country and the world and saying what direction should we take as the ANC when we're entering the second centenary of our movement. 2
SA road-link buses have been taken off the road in George in the Southern Cape, leaving scores of people stranded. Western Cape traffic spokesperson Kenny Africa says the buses were unroadworthy.
There were several defects on both buses, a suspension, defective lights, oil leaks, etc. And because of all these defects, our officers suspended the use of those buses and took them off the road. And the buses will only be towed away from George by means of a tow truck.
PAC President Letlapa Mpahlele has called for a land summit to debate the issue at length. Speaking at Butterworth in the Eastern Cape, Mpahlele said the ANC would not be able to solve land problems alone. He says the willing buyer, willing seller policy is derailing land redistribution, and a summit will provide answers. And finally, the KwaDukuza Taxi Association on the KwaZulu-Natal North Coast says there'll be no taxi operations tomorrow. Its chairperson, Sanele Zondi, cites years of empty promises by the Provincial Transport Department to issue them with operating route permits and the arrest of their drivers. Meanwhile, Provincial Transport spokesperson Kwanele Nkalane has described the strike as shocking. Nkalane says they are currently meeting with KwaDukuza and KwaMapumula taxi associations in an effort to find a way forward. He says the issuing of operating permits was delayed by outstanding matters relating to relations between the two associations.